How's it going, guys? Vaibhav here and welcome back to another video. Now today we're talking about the LG Velvet, which is their newest smartphone that's sort of been official but not official at the same time. If you look at LG's social page right here, they published a press release on April the 28th, 2020 that mentions that the LG Velvet will be released on the 15th of May. Ever since then, we've had so many leaks, including this big one that they published themselves. So this is basically what the LG Velvet will look like. The colors, the design, everything is there for you to see. I'll leave this down in the description if you want to read into it more, but you've basically got a 6.8-inch front panel with sort of this weird looking punch hole / notch design. I wish they went for a more minimalistic punch hole design. The 3D arc design that everyone's talking about is obviously there, as well as the water drop style camera setup. So a 6.8-inch design is kind of big. I expected something a bit smaller, maybe a 6.3 to a 6.5-inch form factor, so maybe LG might have missed the trick there, but it's a full HD panel nonetheless, and it's got a 20.5:9 aspect ratio, and it's a cinema full vision display. Now it's also got stereo speakers, which is a plus point given its multimedia consumption capabilities, but the stereo speakers also have an AI function, which basically means whatever you're listening to, the phone can analyze and tune your audio and make it better sounding. So I guess that's a cool feature to have. But if you actually focus on the camera right here, it's got a triple camera primary setup and a 16 megapixel front camera for your selfies. It's got a 48 megapixel primary sensor. We don't know if this is an IMX586 or an IMX689 sensor from Sony just yet. An 8 megapixel ultra wide lens and a 5 megapixel depth sensor, as you can see. It's also got this low light feature, which basically is quad binning to improve low light photography, but also some features that are quite questionable, including an ASMR mode, which heightens the microphone sort of senses for you to capture all those noises and make those videos that I'm really not interested in. But if you are, there's a feature for that, and maybe you want to buy this phone just for that. It's also got a voice out focus feature, which basically means you can focus on voice coming from one particular object or subject and sort of dissolve the rest of the background noise. So all pretty cool things. Now inside we're looking at the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G processor. It's a 5G processor, toned down variant of the 865, but that means it's going to be much less expensive to produce. I think about 20 to 30% less, and that hopefully transfers to a lesser cost. It's still got 5G support, which is great, and I think it can handle everything that you throw at it in terms of design. Now people are saying the 765 cannot handle 90 Hz refresh rate, but I think in terms of the Velvet, we still have a 60 Hz refresh rate, so I don't think we need to worry about that too much. In terms of battery, we're looking at a 4,300 mAh cell, which in combination with these sort of internals means you're going to be getting at least a day to a day and a half worth of usage non-stop. So I think you're fine with that. And it's also got support for LG's other accessories, including the dual screen and the stylus pen. But I think that is a good overall summation of everything that you need to expect from the phone. Now, if we go to the actual leaked images, these were from today, I believe, May 5th. If I'm not mistaken, yes, there we go, or May 3rd. This was from May 3rd, and basically May 5th is tomorrow. Like, sorry about going into the future. May 3rd, this basically outlines all of the sort of looks of the phone. So there you go, that's what the phone will look like. Pretty standard stuff, but the guy who's actually gone through has taken a photo of the specifications, which gives you a bit more insight. So it's only 180 grams, which I think is pretty good. It's also got a 7.9 millimeter thickness, which I think means overall you're looking at a pretty compact and light feeling phone. It's also got IP68 water and dust resistance, so I think that's a huge feature to have for a phone like this. I don't think any other phone at this sort of price tag and offering with 5G, etc., brings that sort of capabilities, unless you're talking about the OnePlus 8 series. So I think this is a direct competitor to the OnePlus 8 vanilla variant. And aside from that, it also mentions the fact that it's got 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 gigabytes of storage, and micro SD card expansion up to 2 terabytes. Yes, I can read that even though it's in South Korean because of the 2 terabytes right there. All the other specifications are pretty much what we discussed, but if we go through the comments, we can see that this guy sort of mentioned the feel in hand. So he says that it looks and feels similar to the Note 10 but has a sharper side, which I think is a good thing. It also has sort of the same idea as the LG V50 series when it comes to the front-facing camera, but he mentions that the camera overall, the picture quality and clarity on the device was the best. So I think when he's mentioning the cameras, he's talking about the fact that the 48 megapixel camera sensor is one of the better ones out there, although the ultra wide angle camera, if you look or infer through his comments, the pixels are a bit low. Now people are asking if this phone has optical image stabilization. We're not sure yet. LG hasn't mentioned anything on that, so that's something we have to keep in mind. And whether or not it has optical image stabilization on 2 of its lenses or only 1 of its lenses, that's going to be something interesting. But as far as video recording capabilities goes, I think it's going to be 4K 30 FPS minimum, because I think the 765G can support that. I think it can go up to 60 FPS too, but 30 FPS minimum is what I know. Someone else or himself, he posted a picture of the specifications. I think it goes over the same thing. We don't really need to focus on that. He does say the external speaker is great though, so that's pretty good. And the pricing is not yet confirmed, so that's something we have to keep in mind, but we're expecting, there we go, that thing opened up right now. It's pretty much the same specifications we looked at earlier, so we're gonna close that. Pricing, that's what I was discussing. It's not known just yet, even though people have gone to stores and seen this phone in public, and that's where this next video of this device comes into play. Now this was made by Limmade TV. Shout out to him for making this video. I'm just gonna go over the fact that stores in South Korea, I presume, have already got phone images of this thing like right on the outside, so it's pretty much public, it's pretty much official. As you can see, these are a few stills from the actual device. He also mentions the specifications, which I think everyone would. We also get glimpses of LG's UI right here. I mean, it looks finished, but at the same time, I don't think I'm gonna like that cartoony feel, and it borrows a lot from One UI 2.1, I feel, from Samsung. If you look at the home screen, I think if we go back here, we have a picture of the home screen right there. Yeah, it looks a lot like the Samsung UI. Kind of bloated, but I think it's going to be Android 10 running on the phone. I think that's pretty much standard. He's also showing off the pen support, so that's pretty cool. There is pen support as well as the dual screen support, so I guess for people who want to use it, you can, although he does show the fact that it does not work with your typical Note pen. So that's something to keep in mind. It doesn't work with any other stylus. You need the LG stylus, or maybe you need the software enabled somewhere else. But that aside, I think these are the hands-on images of the phone. Pretty cool looking, I would say. In terms of whether or not I would buy it, that's something that will have to wait. You can see how this has this curved sort of design as well in some of the stills, and I'll leave a link to this video if you want to check it out in full down in the description as well. But yeah, I think that's the LG Velvet hands-on in a nutshell. There we go. He's basically showing off the camera UI right here that we saw in the previous leaks. So again, the LG Velvet is currently on display in South Korea. It seems like the different colors in the background. There's no talk or mention of the fact when this thing will be or where this will ship in terms of international availability and how much the price would be. In terms of the UAE, I don't think LG will want to ship it because LG hasn't been doing so for the past couple of months or years. So I don't know, maybe LG wants to start off on a new page in the UAE and probably ship this phone. We're not quite sure on that yet. As far as pricing, I expect the pricing to be around the $600 mark, which translates to 2,200 dirhams. I might be over expecting from LG and maybe switch that to $700, but I think $600 will make it sell quite good in the US market because it's got 5G and it's got pretty less competition. So I think the major competition it needs to focus on is the OnePlus 8, which obviously does software really well. It also has a good camera, so I guess that's where LG's Velvet comes in. It's also got some lower end competition, including the Apple iPhone SE, which sells for $400, as well as the Google Pixel 3a and the Google Pixel 4a, which is upcoming in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I think the $600 to $700 mark should be what you'd be expecting for this phone, which translates roughly to around the 2,200 to 2,500 dirham price tag for the UAE. So I guess that's about it for this video. The LG Velvet hands-on look, pretty much all the specifications leaked as well as what we can expect officially from LG as well as non-officially from other people. So let me know what you guys think about the phone down in the comments. Are you looking forward to it? To me, I think in terms of a visual sort of perspective, it looks great. People don't like it, but I personally like it. And the way that guy is describing it as a Note 10 feel, I'd say it would feel nice in the hand as well if his description is accurate. But I think time will tell whether or not I get this phone or not, will tell. And if I do, I will be sure to review the camera as well as the overall phone. So yeah, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming up. This was Vaibhav, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.